Hello there, I'm Lloyd Evans. Welcome to Ramacrow. In this video, as you'll have seen from the title, I'll be talking about Christmas. And just to reassure you, everything's fine, nothing terrible's happened. When I talk about Christmas being ruined, I'm not talking specifically about this Christmas. I want to speak more broadly about what Christmas means to me now that I've been celebrating Christmas for a few years, compared to how it was at the beginning. Because as many of you will know who watch my channel, and as you'll certainly know if you've been one of Jehovah's Witnesses like I have, Jehovah's Witnesses aren't allowed to celebrate Christmas. And so I was raised in a family where it was literally wrong to get excited about Christmas, and you certainly couldn't look forward to receiving presents at Christmas or doing anything special. My memories of Christmas when I was small, when I was a child, are based mostly on there being a few more interesting things to watch on TV. That's basically it. I remember being excited about all the movies that would show on British television, bearing in mind when I was a kid, and now I'm going to sound really ancient, when I was a kid, there was just the 4 channels of TV, BBC One, BBC Two, ITV, and Channel 4. And then I think in the 90s, we got Channel 5. So there wasn't much to watch on TV. But then at Christmas, you'd get Home Alone, you'd get The Great Escape, you'd get all of these films, and it was fun. It was an event to look forward to. But that was pretty much it. Everything else about Christmas, I felt guilty about getting excited over, if that makes sense. And I made a video in 2015, actually it was January 2015, maybe Tibor can show the thumbnail if he's feeling Christmassy. I made a video about my first Christmas, and I guess I was trying in that video to be as excited about it as I could be, because it was a big deal celebrating my first Christmas. Or it was the first Christmas that I'd been able to celebrate with a few other people. And it was a nice experience. And Christmases have been nice experiences for me since then. I also did a video in 2019, December 2019, Tight Christmas. Please do check that out if you've not done so already, in which I had a little bit of fun at the expense of Tony Morris. So I do have like a back catalogue of videos where I'm trying to get into the festive spirit, if that's how you describe it. But now we're in 2022. I've got a few Christmases under my belt. And I feel like I can just be frank and honest about how I feel about Christmas. And this is not to put a downer on anything or kind of make people feel bad for celebrating Christmas. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a Scrooge or a Grinch. I just want to be honest and say what's on my mind. And maybe in doing so, other people will relate to the way I feel and think, thank you. You know, I'm not the only one. Because I know there are many ex-Jehovah's Witnesses for whom Christmas is a massive thing and they get genuinely excited about it. I think that's fantastic. But for me personally, I wouldn't say I don't like Christmas. Would I? It's just that I really, really struggle to get excited about it. Apart from getting excited about it for my daughters, for my children. When it comes to my children, I make an effort. I obviously get the presents. I make sure I'm there for them during Christmas. I make sure I am as excited about it as I possibly can be, or try to muster some excitement. But honestly speaking, if I didn't have my two girls, if it was just me, or, there weren't children in the picture, I don't think I'd celebrate Christmas. I really don't think I would. And this isn't to say that you can't celebrate Christmas as an atheist. I think I've spoken before on the channel about my views on that. To put it simply, Christmas was stolen from the pagans by the Christians. The pagans used to celebrate the winter solstice. The Christians wanted an excuse to do the same. And they co-opted the pagan celebrations surrounding the winter solstice as Christmas. So with Christians having done that, why can't atheists in turn steal Christmas from the Christians? That's my take on things. And also, I don't think most people make a huge deal when it comes to the religious side of Christmas. I know many do, but ultimately it's become a secular commercial celebration. To be quite frank, it's an opportunity for shops and businesses to sell more stuff, isn't it, really? And that's, I guess, one of the many reasons why I struggle to muster enthusiasm, because I can kind of see when there is an ulterior motive to something. I can see when I'm being expected to get involved in something, not for my own enjoyment, but so that people can sell stuff. That's what Christmas basically is for me. It's an excuse to sell stuff. It has a positive message of peace on earth and goodwill to all men. But that's an attitude I try to have all year round. I kind of agree with Jehovah's Witnesses when they say, why should that just be something you do at a certain point of the year? Why can't you be wishing goodwill and peace to your fellow man all throughout the year? So if you take away that component, you're left with the gift giving and the commercial aspect, which, again, I can't really get excited about. I do almost envy those who can get excited about it, and I mean genuinely excited about it, because I think life can be so complicated and difficult and challenging that anything that can put a smile on your face, anything that can just make you forget about perhaps the darker elements of your life for a while, and frankly, any excuse for families to come together, even though they quite often might end up arguing, anything like that is a positive, isn't it? And so I'm glad that many ex-JWs genuinely get excited about Christmas. They put up their decorations and their trees as early as they possibly can. I'm currently living in an apartment in Zagreb, and I've put up a tree, but it's literally this big. I think it's actually not intended as a tree. It's kind of an ornament that's got sackcloth wrapped around it. And I think it's intended as mistletoe that's kind of facing upwards. But to me, it's a Christmas tree. It's got like the dusting of white on it and one or two baubles. So I'm like, yeah, that'll do. I don't have to put any effort into putting that up, so I can just plonk it on the shelf. Job done. So it's quite sad in a way, or at least probably it is quite sad to many of you listening that that's my attitude towards Christmas. But you have to remember that Christmas has been ruined for me. I don't have the back catalogue of really positive childhood memories that many people have that help them to get the most out of Christmas or help them get excited about Christmas, even if it's not necessarily for rational, logical reasons. And I can empathize with getting excited about stuff for irrational, illogical reasons because I'm a football fan and I support a team that recently hasn't been doing very well, Manchester United, but I still allow myself to get excited during games. It doesn't make any logical sense whatsoever, but I've followed them for years and years, and they still have like an emotional grip on me. And I can imagine it must be like that for people who get excited about Christmas. And I genuinely am happy for ex-JWs who, despite having my dysfunctional childhood regarding Christmas, they're still able to move beyond that and just start anew as though nothing happened. I just personally can't, and I can't be the only one, which is why I'm making this video. But what I will do is I will try as much as possible not to be a Grinch or a Scrooge, and I'm damn well going to make sure that my children do not have the dysfunctional experience or childhood that I had when it comes to Christmas. I'm going to make an effort for them. And then when they get older, they can decide for themselves whether they want to make a big deal out of Christmas or not. Right now, it's very obvious to me that they absolutely love Christmas. In fact, it's almost as though children come out of the womb liking Christmas. It's like Christmas has almost been designed to appeal to a child. They absolutely can't get enough of it. So for that reason alone, I celebrate Christmas and I do my very best. But I can also relate to those who don't celebrate Christmas and who perhaps even find this time of year very, very difficult. Because not only do they not particularly appreciate the whole commercialism aspect and the music that's playing constantly and being urged to part with their cash for stuff at every turn, not only do they have that aversion, but perhaps they're living by themselves. Perhaps they don't have anyone to share Christmas with, and specifically, they don't have children around to share Christmas with. I can imagine it being far more challenging for them, for people in that situation. So I guess this is a video intended to say, I know where you're coming from and you're not alone. And as much as people should get excited about Christmas and enjoy it if they want to, you know, there's no harm in appreciating or sparing a thought for those who can't get excited and who do have very different experiences and very different ideas about Christmas. Surely when we're talking about peace on earth and goodwill to all men, that can encompass sensitivity towards those who actually aren't that fussed about Christmas, so that we're not almost demanding it of everyone or expecting it of everyone. I think it's really nice when we can be as kind and accommodating of everyone as possible, including those who may think differently to us and get excited about different things to us and not like the same things that we may like. So that's all I wanted to say, really. But with all of that said, I genuinely wish all of my viewers, all of my subscribers, all of my patrons and YouTube channel members the very merriest of holiday seasons or Christmas or whatever it is that you want to call it. Have a happy time of year when you get a bit of extra time off work. There are a few extra things to watch on the telly, and there's more opportunity to spend time with those you care about. Enjoy this time of year to the extent that you possibly can. But yeah, that's about all I had to share. I hope some of you can relate. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget you can watch more such videos by subscribing to the Lloyd Evans channel. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and have a very Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous 2023.